Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Show, Episode 3. I am Connor. I am here, of course, with my co-host, Reese. Reese, how you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Obviously, you're a couple hours behind me, ish. Obviously, it's near the back of three here. I think it's 7 o'clock for you,
Yeah,
something like that, and
10 after
not
7
a
here.
good way, not a good way to start your morning. Obviously, Man
No, would
United
have rather woken
winning
up
and
not to that.
winning the game, and then towards the end, uh, poor lapse of concentration and performances results in us scraping a draw.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because, of course, I didn't wake up for the game completely. I woke up for most of the second half.
Yeah.
I think I got on around the 55th, 60th minute, which was dreadful because, of course, I came on and the first thing I see is us absolutely bottling the lead.
hmm
I'm happy for Martial. As much as I do think it's Martial's time to go, it was good to see him finally get off the block and get his first goal since February. Because
hmm
even though I want him out, he's still a Man United player, and him scoring for us is great. Because
Agreed.
while he's here, it's going to help his confidence while he's here. If
I agree. I agree. It'll do him good stead that in those positions where we really need something. I've said it numerous times. I don't like Martial playing through the middle.
No, he's a
I
left winger.
I, I think on the left hand side he is more dangerous, and I think if you play him on the left wing, he gets the most of his dribbling ability, which he's actually capable of doing as a dribbler. He's quality, and when he gets those spaces, he can run into them. I think through the middle, he tries too hard to be that hold up number nine, which he's not. He has good hold up play, but he's not a number nine. And I think from the left wing, you can see it. And with Rashford coming back as well, sometimes Pogba in there, he's got a handful of positions, even Jesse Lingard, he's got a handful of positions he can play, but his best one is so filled with quality in there. Like, I think if he, that game today, until he came off, put him in good stead to at least get another chance out there. I think he deserves another chance. I think he's capable of it. He's a good player. Any player in Man United I want to do well, but if it is nearing his time to move on, then obviously I would wish him well, and I do, of course. But I think today showcased why we still need a player of his quality in that position.
Yeah, and of course for me, I've been the same way. I think he's better on the left wing than he is, and I think the reason he gets that lazy moniker is because he tries to do hold up so much. He
Mm-hmm.
kind of holds it up and then kind of gets taken out of the attack because he's holding it up so deep back towards our own half
Mm-hmm.
that by the time the attack happens, he's so far back that everybody's like, "Oh, he's lazy. Why isn't he running to get up there?" It's because he's came so deep to try and do hold up play when
Mm-hmm.
that's not his spot. That's not what he really should be doing if to embrace his talent. And I think the more he plays on the left wing, the more we'll see that he's not lazy. He's just been playing in the wrong spot for a while
I
because we
agree.
saw today he had energy and he had that busy energy and that activity when he was on the left wing. But when he's having to be forced to be up top, that's when we run into problems with him being a little bit lazy and being like, all right, I've done my hold up play, I'm good.
He was all over the place today as well. When he was actually on the ball, off the ball, he was at times at the halfway line, moving into spaces to get the team pushing in midfield. He was all over the place. So I agree. I think a player is only actually lazy if you catch them just jogging or walking for like the vast majority of the game. Unless if they're not moving, then definitely label them as lazy. I think for him it's hard. I know a lot of people rate Martial more than like say Rashford, then most people rate Rashford more than Martial. And I get that because obviously who you have in your team, who would you rather have? I think it's good to have an option. I remember I know it was at times such a dismal season, but the way we started Mourinho's second season, for example, like when we brought Lukaku in to go up top and obviously Ibrahimovic was the backup striker, when that we had that level of quality, Martial started the game on the left in the left midfield
And
of
that to
our
me is at his best.
for a 4-2-3-1. Martial played on the left as a left midfielder, and Rashford came on as a sub. They both scored in that game, and we won 4-0. And then the following game, we won 4-0. I think it was Everton and West Ham at the time. I can't remember off the top of my head, but we won those games. No, it was Swansea, sorry, because we beat Everton, I think 2-1 because Lukaku scored in that game.
Yeah.
But the games where we won 4-0 back to back, Martial started the first game as a left midfielder. The following game, it was Rashford that started. Martial came on as a substitute, and they both went to that position, and it showcased why you need the depth in those positions. And he's better out there than he is as a number 9. He has the instincts of a number 9. I will give him that credit. He has the instincts of a number 9 in terms of his finishing, getting into positions where he can be a dangerous threat in the box. But when I watch him play and he's on that left-hand side and he's cutting in, he's so much better. He is so much better. And I think that's what the manager realistically is looking for. He's looking for those players that can play multiple positions. Like the same with Cavani, can play it wide. Greenwood showing he can play it wide because that's what he's doing at the minute. He's still developing into a striker, but he's cutting in from the right-hand side. We do need that, but we also need at times pure specialists in the position, and we don't have a handful of them, but we need to get the best out of what we've got. And if we don't, things could go sour. And I'm hoping it's not the case, but today's just an indication of really poor performances at stages, and we really need to kick on. If not, then serious questions will be asked, and that's where conversations at times should be had, but civilized.
Where do you think it starts? If performances keep up like this, where do you think it starts where Man United bosses start going over to Ajax and having a little bit of a discussion with Ten Hag about possibly taking over?
I don't know if it's going to be as simple as that. Who you go for? I think obviously a lot of people are thinking, oh, he's just going to dodge the question of you need to sack your manager. I'm not. I'm going to do this in a civilized way because it's how I handle it. I've never been all in or all out. I don't see the need. But what I will say is you can back the manager, but you have to at least accept there's games where he gets things seriously wrong, and he has to look at that and think, where do I come back from this? And there's games where he does get things right, and he should be praised on it, not just the players. It's both sides. I think
there's a big problem with not giving Plot when things go right, but having him be the finger that they point at first when things go wrong. It has to go both ways. As a fan, you have to accept, even if you want him out, you have to be okay with, and even if you're Ole in, Ole out, or even like we are, where we're neither. Yes, you can criticize the manager, but when he does stuff right, you have to give him the credit he deserves. You cannot just say it's player brilliance. Like last game against Villarreal, I gave Ole a lot of plaudits for that late winner because all of his subs.
Yes, he's earmarked the substitutions. He's earmarked them, and he's got it right. And there's times where he makes those subs and he gets it wrong.
And that's fine, criticize him then. But when he gets it right, we have to, as a fan base, accept the fact that, yes, he deserves to be praised no matter what, even if it is just for that. That doesn't mean he's a great manager, or, Lord above. He's going to lead us to the promised land because of that one game, but you have to at least give him the credit. You cannot just say player brilliance every time we win and it's Ole's fault every time we lose. Because sometimes either. Sometimes it is the player's fault that we lose. Sometimes it is Ole's the reason we won. If Ole brings on a sub and they're the one who scored the winning goal, everybody says it's all the player who did everything, but he wouldn't have even been on the pitch if Ole doesn't make that substitution. That's where he deserves that plaudits. So it goes both ways.
I do earmark this statement though, that is if performances like that do continue over the big run of games we've got coming up, then it's going to make it very difficult to keep him as a manager though.
Yeah,
the run of games we've coming up. I hate seeing managers get sacked at this stage of a season. I think it's pointless. But what I will say is, if they do make the decision, you either, I think it's about timing it. I think if you were actually going to make the move to actually move him on, even though he got second last year, you would do it then in the summer, because it gives a new manager a full season. It gives them a full pre-season as well, then a full season. It gives them a full transfer window to get their players in, get who they think isn't good enough out, and earmark into their system. Another time you do it coincidentally is, I hate saying sack this, sack now, sack all that crap, but right now is another example, because we're now in an international break. Obviously, our manager's not going to have absolute immediate time to get his system in check, but clubs have done it before. Like top clubs have sacked managers during an international break. They've timed it and they've went on and done things. Also, I'm not going to earmark as an example, but Klopp came in for Brendan Rodgers 8 games into a Liverpool season, and his first game was against Spurs, and you saw it within what I think he had less than a week training,
Yeah.
and
Sometimes it works.
and
Sometimes it
you
doesn't.
saw it immediately. So you saw immediately the changes from Klopp's style and Rodgers' style. That that does happen. It's all over there. If they are going to make the decision to replace the manager, obviously it's not. I don't get involved in these conversations because at the end of the day, it comes down to the club. But you can't you can't dismiss someone's opinion for having who they prefer to take over, who they want as a manager. I think having a discussion about who could replace the manager is acceptable. I think it's okay to have those conversations. It's
It's how you have them.
it's the overreactionary stuff I
Yeah.
can't be arsed with. I can't be arsed with that. But if they do make a decision to sack him, then you've got to get the best person for the job. Do I think it's going to be Ten Hag? To be honest, I don't know. I think he is now in. I think he's now in the top three favourites for the Barcelona job, with Xavi and Roberto Martinez. But
Part
I
of me
think it'll be
wants Ole to be gone before, but Coleman's they've come out and said that Coleman's staying. So
if he does stay, then fair play to him because like I know a lot of people don't rate Koeman as a manager. I think he's a good manager. He's in a very difficult situation,
that's a very
and
bad.
he is a Barcelona legend. But if they move him on, then they know that they really have to get things done. So I understand that. If Solskjaer, yes, is a club legend. If they move him on, then you need to get the best person
Yeah.
for the job to take us forward. And if they can't do it, then wait till the end of the season. If they want to do it sooner, then you're best doing it during the international break, where at least the players who aren't away on international duty can already be assimilated to the new manager's style and tactics and how we go forward. But that's just having a simple conversation of who stays and who goes. That's just my point of view. I don't get involved with the in and out debate because it's pointless.
Yeah.
But
Kilmarnock's just
you
gone
can't
down one
dismiss
0 10th,
unlucky.
10th minute Kilmarnock's gone down 1-0. So it's an even better start to my morning.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully they
okay,
lose.
now we got to unfortunately move on to what I really hate talking about. We got to talk about the goal for Everton. Unfortunately, just top to bottom, not great.
Yep.
The fact that we got counterattacked so badly off of our own corner, I feel
Yes.
like it's so important, and we saw it late in the game with Everton how good it is to win that second ball when it's been cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
As the attacking team, it's so important to win it. As the defending team, it's even more important because look what happens. You see, the corner comes in. Fred, like you said before we started, goes into it a little bit too hard, is over aggressive with it, and just didn't have the strength for it, and gets easily
Yeah.
shoved off, and it causes us to get a really bad counterattack against us. And unfortunately, when that happens, and when we have corners, I think one thing I'm hoping from this game that we need to work on, that I'll say Ramsey needs to go into training and work on the team, is how we're positioned after a corner's been cleared away,
Yeah.
offensively and defensively. Because offensively, our defensive line that did not go up for the corner was all out of position. Shaw, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, everybody that stayed back was out of position after that corner, trying to defend. And that's why that goal happened. And then you see later with the Everton near goal that was called offside, Everton had the corner. They won that second ball after it was cleared, and the whole right side was desolate of red.
Yeah.
Tom Davies
Yeah.
by himself. If Tom Davies if it's Doucouré or Allen, or Tom Davies actually just decides to have a shot, we're down 2-1 and we've lost that game 2-1.
I think
And
it's Mina offside. I think it's Jerry Mina offside.
yeah, Yerry
If it
Mina was
been
just offside.
if it been Doucouré or if it been Doucouré or Alan, then that would have been a goal. I think you look at certain chances. If that had been Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin, if they'd been available,
It was done.
it would have been them that scored, guaranteed.
Yeah, so
That
Ramsey's got to go into that training ground and go, hey, both sides, we need to be better positioned and better prepared off of
Yeah.
corners. Because being prepared, we're great. We've been great with set pieces, with clearing out corners, with making sure we're not getting scored on by free kicks, because that was a big problem last year. Now, after that corner happens, we need to make sure we're in position to defend our own goal. Either way, if we have an offensive corner or a defensive corner, we need to be prepared to defend that second run.
Yeah,
That's where
I
we got
agree.
goals killed.
No, I agree. It's definitely something that has to be worked upon. And if we do not work upon it, then we are going to we are going to next time. It may not even be a draw; it could be a defeat. But we really do need to improve on that. I think there are certain levels of coaching that does need to be improved upon, but I don't know what. The thing is, though, is we don't even know what's happening at Carrington. We don't see it, so we haven't got a clue what is going. Excuse me, we don't actually see what's going on. Like, what are they working on? Is it just a spur of the moment where it's happened? Like, who knows? But what I do want to see is more intensity. Body language has got to be better, and we need to be at it for the get go. If we're not, then next time it could be a lot worse. If that had been a Liverpool, God forbid, if it had been Man City, if I got the Man City attack as well, even Chelsea, like relentless. In fact, I'll even go one further. If that had been, say, for example, if that had been Leicester as well, and I say that even though they've had a poor start to the season, even Leicester, because the pace they've got in terms of Vardy, who isn't as quick as he used to be, but he's still got pace on him. If that had been like a Daka, like if he ever gets into the team for Leicester, that would be a massive, massive problem. Even Heung-min Son, he's done it before for Spurs, like where they braked from their own half and he scored. Like, if that, obviously that wasn't against us, but he did do it in the league. If that happens, we are in big trouble. We really need to be more at it, and we need to be very proactive rather than reactive. And again, that comes down to coaching. But today, it was simple lapses. Yes, I adore Fred, but today he got things horribly wrong. Fred, at times, it's his discipline and he overthinks things, and he really needs to just slow down a bit. Not slow down where he's out of the game, but slow down in terms of rushing into something. Instead of rushing in and going round the ball and he's being swung around, he could have easily just went in, instead of shoulder barging him, he could have just stuck his foot in. I don't care if he gets a yellow, because Maguire done it against Villa.
Yeah.
Like he wrapped round, took his man to the ground. If Fred doesn't have to wrap around, but if Fred just literally runs up, puts a foot in, or even just barges in, he will do it.
Yeah, keep your studs hidden. Just go in, take him down, and it's as long as his studs aren't showing, it's easily just either a foul or a yellow card, and it gives us a chance to get back. And I think that goal doesn't happen if he just simply. Yeah. I do love Pogba body slamming Yerry Mina. After
that was out of the blue, I was like, "What the hell?" I don't think there was any need for it, but I was like,
"No, there wasn't." I think he was just frustrated because he got really. Yerry Mina's a big, strong Colombian.
No, he is. He is massive. He's a massive threat. I just look at it and I think it happened. And yes, I want Fred to do better. But if Fred cannot do any better, then there should be a period of time. Even coming from myself, there should be a period of time where Fred comes out of the team. The midfield I wanted today was Matic and Pogba, or even Matic and McTominay, because McTominay at times had a decent game. Yeah, he got bullied off the ball as well today, but nobody will talk about that.
No, he definitely.
McTominay got bullied off the ball in midfield.
I'm a huge fan of McTominay, but McTominay had a decent game. For me, it's probably maybe a 4 or a 5 out of 10 because he did have times where he was bullied off the ball, but there were sparks where he actually did very well. I remember I saw one, probably my favorite moment for him of the game was a clear out where it was a giant header and he just took it on his foot and stopped it dead on his foot and was able to get us going. Because so many times we see those header battles, someone finally gets it and it's a super bad touch, that first touch. And a lot of times that can kill any sort of attack you're trying to mount. But him being able to take that ball and just put it on his foot and stick it like glue, I wish we would see more out of the entire team. I feel like way too often we see, and of course Greenwood with McTominay as well had a great run to try and get us out of our own half. Greenwood put it right behind him. So I think I don't think anybody had an amazing game. Everybody was off today. We cannot blame that, though, on the fact we played on Wednesday. Yes, do I think we should have played tomorrow? Yes, definitely. I do not understand why we have to play Wednesday, Saturday, while City and Liverpool get to play Tuesday, Sunday. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But that cannot be our excuse.
Agreed. I thought at times, though, our intensity was good. I thought, like, way we playing the ball quickly, moving at spaces, we're attacking for once as a team. At times, maybe a little bit non-cohesive, but vast majority of the time we were attacking as a team and we were playing the ball very quickly. But as the game grew on, that intensity dipped and it wasn't great. And I'll admit that I thought I thought for the first 60 minutes, I thought we were very intense, but as the last half an hour came in,
We gassed.
we did, yeah, and it wasn't great. I want us to see more. I think taking Cavani off today, I don't think was the right
A bad
decision. I think
decision.
I
I
think
think
I
it
think
was.
Cavani should have stayed on. Bring
Yeah,
on Ronaldo. Yeah, fine, that's fine. Bring on Ronaldo, but I think we still should have kept on Cavani. I thought Martial at times. I thought he deserved to stay on, but I can understand bringing him off because he hasn't played a lot of game time, so he has to build himself in this. I understand that, but
yeah,
Cavani, in my opinion, should have stayed on longer. I thought he
yeah.
was
He plays
warranted
so
enough to
hard.
stay on.
He plays so hard. And like I said, maybe I don't think it does, but maybe us playing tomorrow instead of today means that we don't gas those last 30 minutes. But like I said, that can't be an excuse. As a team, as a player, we should be at the fitness where, yes, I'd understand if it was super close where we had played Sunday, Tuesday, right? Sunday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
you've had one day to really rest and then you're playing again. We've had most of Wednesday. We're at home as well. So we're at
Mhm.
home. There's no flying involved. So you get to fully rest Thursday, Friday, and most of Saturday while waiting for the game.
Yeah.
There's no reason we should be gassing in those last 30 minutes. And it's unfortunate. And of course, so this is going to be released, I believe, Monday. So all of you are probably watching it if you are watching it on Monday. So let's quickly delve in for the last 9.5 minutes or so. Let's delve into our upcoming game. Leicester. I don't know how to feel when we're going into Leicester. I think, especially because we're not going to be. For me, I'm actually. It's weird. I'm more confident because we're going to be at the King Power. Because we always seem to pull it out when we're away. Away seems to be where it's at for us. If we
Mm.
played our home games at other stadiums, I feel like we'd probably play better. Because for some reason, even with the fans back, we just are so dismal at home.
It's our worst run of games at home since the 1970s for conceding at home. I think it's 9 consecutive games we conceded at Old Trafford. It's the worst since the 1970s.
Yeah.
It's the worst run at Old Trafford for Man United. It's something that has to change. We do need to start sharpening up, and we need to do better in terms of just keeping shutouts. I don't know what it is. I think it's hard to just put a stamp on it. People are going to say, "Oh, it's just the defenders," but it's not. I thought Lindelof and Varane today were impressive. I don't blame them at all
They're a
for
good pair.
any involvement in the.
Ron works well with whoever he's been with so far. He's worked well
Exactly.
with McLaren. He's worked beautifully with Lindelof, and it's great to see we have that new Rolls Royce that we can throw in that defensive line. Who it
Yeah,
doesn't matter who he works with because with Maguire he works well with Bailly and Varane, but if you throw Lindelof next to him, it's shite. Varane,
yeah.
you throw anybody next to him, he's going to do pretty well.
You need those combinations that work really well, and it's clear as day. I thought Wan-Bissaka, even though he had a moment where he was caught when we conceded, obviously that was also through the situation on the wing where Fred's lost the ball like to Gray. Wan-Bissaka overall had a good game as well. I thought Shaw was decent. It wasn't particularly great. But he was
Yeah,
decent. Um, but it's just overall some things have to change, and I don't know really. One thing I didn't like today, I know a lot of people are going to say on it, the like Ollie sticking his tongue out and smiling at
I
the
don't know
end.
what that was, and that was
I
after
don't I
he
don't
was
know what that was
chatting
about.
in
That made no sense to me. That made no sense. I was like, this isn't a time to be smiling and sticking your tongue out. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna come after him like that. But I just thought I don't understand doing that. When you see Rafa Benitez stern face
And
saying,
he was
"Go
screaming
here,
at
go
people
there."
too. I will say, Ole was screaming at people. When you looked at the touchline of those last like 10 minutes, he was yelling instructions.
Well, he was. I'm not gonna I'm
But
not
it's
gonna
weird
I'm
that
not
he
gonna
went from
dismiss that.
yelling instructions to just sticking his tongue out and smiling because that's not.
It's not good. It's not good to see. It's not good to see. I don't know. I know like some things have to change. Yes, we are away from home against Leicester, so realistically we should do better there. Leicester, some of their players have not settled yet, like the new signings haven't settled yet, so it gives us a good advantage. But Leicester still got a
Didi
decent squad.
run down.
Yeah, they
That's going
still
to
have
be huge. That's huge for. I think that's the bigger than the new signings not being in. Having someone like Ndidi not be in is going to be huge for us because that's where we
Mhm.
struggle. When they have a very good defensive midfielder who can sit and take away that middle of the park, we struggle.
And it's powerful. And it's
It's
powerful. Like
powerful.
today was
It's a,
Decore.
yeah, it's a lot weaker of a defensive midfield.
Yeah,
Now, with him out. So I don't think we'll do lineup predictions because you never know. Someone can get injured in training. I think it's too early to call lineups because you never know who can come back. But I will say,
or the club make a bizarre, or the club make the situation and move the manager on, which to be fair can happen. No one's going to
easily happen. No one,
I don't think it will. I don't think it'll. I don't think it'll happen though. But it could happen. But
it happened to Norwich.
Some things have to change. True. Something's got to improve over the international breaks. Something's got to improve, and defensively is one of them. If the club do make the decision to move the manager on, then obviously I wish him well. But if they are going to stick with him, then please improve certain aspects of the game where we really do struggle with.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, you and I will reconvene next Sunday, which will be a little bit closer to the game. I think it'll be a little bit easier to call how everything's happening because international break will pretty much be over. But I will say early score prediction for the Leicester United game.
I think it might. I want us to win, but I think we might draw again. I'm going 2-2. I hope we win. I honestly hope we go out and batter them, like we win like 3-0 or something. But with United, we just seem to get caught on. We just seem to get caught on so many stupid things, and it pains me. It pains me not to predict a win, but you have to at least look at the picture and think there's some things that aren't right there, and there's some things that are right. But one of them is lapses of concentration, which leads to goals, or one odd mistake, which is recurring a lot. It's an odd mistake, but it's recurring in the sense of it's always in the same sort of position, or it's similar circumstance where it's a counter attack, or it's a player being muscled, or it's players quick moving from a counter and we just cannot seem to stop it. I just think if something like that happens in the game, then we could concede unless we are on it for the get-go. I'm hoping that we have Maguire in the defence at least. It gives us... I mean, Lindelof the past couple of games has been superb, but I still think we need that physical presence beside Varane as well. Like Varane, he is a Rolls Royce, but we can't expect him and Lindelof to do everything on their own. I think we do need that big bulk presence to handle Jamie Vardy with Varane. So I think it's the right move if we get Maguire back, and we need the midfield settled. We need Matic. We need Matic in there for the control. Get Pogba in there. Rashford, I'm hoping he'll be back to start. If not, I hope he comes off the bench for like the last 35 minutes. Gives us an injection of pace.
I think that's an injection of pace, but that's also, I think, an injection of happiness and motivation. Like, we've got Rashford back. Let's get going. And I'm excited for Rashford to come back because that's 3 injuries he's now healed up. His back, his shoulder, and his ankle all are fully healed. This is the most fully fit Rashford we've seen in probably well over 2 years now.
It is a big ask for him. We got to hope. I don't want him rushed in. He isn't guaranteed a starting position. No one is, except for a handful. But once he is back to his absolute best, he will be in that team and he will give us something. I think it will benefit Jadon Sancho as well, because he'll be able to compete with Greenwood solely on the right hand side. So let them battle out. Martial, Lingard, Rashford, sometimes Pogba on the left wing. That's competition. But we have to go like our strongest overall system, our strongest play. We could see a system change, who knows? But one thing's for sure, we have got to not just respond by winning against Leicester, we have to put in a proper dominant performance. But we'll see. But I think just because of how well coached they are, it might be a game we might just slip a little bit. So I'm going 2-2, but I hope we win. I hope we win.
My United heart says 2-0. My United heart says 2-0. But I swear you and I are telepathic at times. Because my first thought, literally off the top of my head, was 2-2. That was literally the first thought. And I swear we're telepathic, you and I, sometimes. Because you and I have a lot of the same predictions and a lot of the same thoughts. My mind innocently went, this is a game where we're going to score once, they're going to score 2, and then we're going to have to score 1 late to draw this game because we've had too much of a slip till the end. And Rashford comes on, and that gives us the motivation to go get the second to draw. And we're thinking, oh my gosh, thanks the Lord, we did not lose against Leicester.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but so my heart says 2-0, but my head says it's 2-2.
I think I think what will decide the game for us against Leicester is the level of intensity we play compared to Leicester. If we are more intense, play the ball quicker, and have that midfield control, we
Yeah,
win that game. We win that game. But if Leicester are more intense than us and they have a midfield powerhouse in there that can control whoever we've got, then I see a draw. I will never predict us to lose, but there are games where we will lose. That's normal. That is normal. A defeat
part of being a
happens.
football club, you lose. It happens.
Exactly. But
According, not according to Andrew Williams, but you know.
I just hope we don't lose massively because it'd be bad for morale and it'd be
Yeah,
bad
oh, definitely.
for us all. But I'm hoping we have an absolute brilliant response against Leicester. The international break, I hope the players that have been selected go and have a great performance.
Yeah, I hope they have great performances, but I don't know if I want to say I want England to win their games on on international duty. I'm not going to go that far and say I want England to win their game, but I really want Scotland. Scotland needs to beat Israel. Good Lord above. Do I need Scotland to beat Israel on the international break? That would just be the
Agreed.
greatest start for us. We
Well,
need it. That's.
Scotland.
I
Got
know this
Scotland
is
in
a red
Germany.
show for United. Yeah, but Scotland needs to win against Israel. I think that's going to be a big help for us trying to go and qualify for the World Cup as us beating Israel the first game of the break. But with that, that is the third episode of the Red Show. Again, Reece, thank you so much again for coming on, co-host of mine.
My pleasure.
It's great having you and I talking together because I think you and I agree, but also disagree on enough to where it keeps it nice and interesting for the people watching. Yeah, so it's nearing 8 a.m. for me, so I'm probably going to go in and have a spot of breakfast and get ready for my day, ready to try and recover my day. And hopefully Kilmarnock can grab one back, and so we don't lose to Wraith.
I think he'll draw. I think he'll draw. I think he'll draw against Rovers.
I think I'll be double draws to start my day, unfortunately. But yeah, with that, thank you, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good time. If you are brand new, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, turn on the bell so you never miss a post from any of our shows across the channel. And of course, we have brand new merch, improved merch from the last one that's come out a little bit ago. I love it. I'm going to be getting some very soon. Make sure you go and get that. It's a great thing, and it really helps show your support for the channel, getting merch and, just subscribing as well. If you know anybody, get them to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 before Christmas. Help us do it. We're at least trying to hit 900 as quick as possible. Help us do it. Thank you, and bye-bye.